And what's up, guys? Duval LeBlanc here, back with another video on Azure. So in this module, in this video, we're gonna go over some modules here, and I'm kind of gonna start a new kind of series on my YouTube when it's gonna be Microsoft. It's gonna be called Microsoft Learn. And as you can see in the top here, it's the Microsoft website and the Learn portion of the site. And in this area, we are in the I guess you could say the module portion. And for me, let's take a step back here and show you where I got. So this is a GitHub account that is by Azure Mentor. I follow him, and he created this page for the AZ900, and it has all the information that's going to be covered on the exam, all separated and compartmentalized into little topics, and each with their own hyperlink to the Microsoft site explaining whatever the topic or whatever the thing is, right? So let's just say elasticity, like I went over in my other videos. It brings you to the Microsoft site with the, as you can see in the hyperlink, azure.microsoft. So this is Azure, and it explains the topic or whatever the thing you were talking about, and in this case it's elastic computing. So as you can see, it has like related products and services to it, load balancing, Azure SQL database and stuff like that. So this resource here is very, very great. I have another one which I'll show you guys later, which has notes. Basically, it's basically similar to this, but instead of the hyperlinks, it has the actual information in the GitHub text. So yeah, so I'm gonna put this link in the comment of my video so you guys can check it out. But for this video, what we're going to do is, since I already kind of discussed these topics in my previous videos, we're gonna start on the last one here, where it's describe core Azure concepts, right? And let's click on this, and this is where it brings you from where I was in the beginning of the video. So Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, describe cloud concepts. So this is basically what I've seen Microsoft doing, is offering these kind of free training modules and stuff for people. They really want you guys, if you're interested in learning this, they're giving it to you for free. They're like, here, take it, learn, please learn here. They're giving it to you for free, and it doesn't cost anything. All you have to do is make a Microsoft account, and you get this like account where you have like levels and experience points for each time you've completed a path and everything. I've already completed this, but I'm going to show you guys what it does and what it looks like. But if you guys are interested in learning this, I highly recommend you make this Microsoft account and get into this, because it's free. Get it while it's free, because I don't know if they're going to charge money down the line, but it's free for now, so get it. And what's cool here is that, so this one, describe cloud computing, you can like add this in the learning paths. So I'll add this into this one, learning path AZ900, right? And then now it's been added, and whenever I want to go back to it, I can just simply go to my account and profile and head to it, right? But yeah, it has career paths. It can browse all the training, the student hub and everything. As you can see, like which type of career path would you like to be. So let's say a administrator. Okay, so it has training for administrators, and for this one, this is the AZ104, so which is going to be the next one I'm doing, but for now it's an AZ900. But yeah, so if you guys are, I'm just saying, this is Microsoft. It's free. Get it while you can. Get it while it lasts, right? So I'm gonna read this here a little bit. So Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, describe cloud concepts. 52 minutes, learning path, 3 modules. And the tags for it are beginner, administrator, developer, DevOps engineer, solution architect, Azure. So it says, new to the cloud, Microsoft Azure Fundamentals is a 3-part series that teaches you basic cloud concepts, provides a streamlined overview of many Azure services and guides you with hands-on exercises to deploy your very first services for free. Complete all of the learning paths in the series if you are preparing for exam AZ900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. This is the first learning path in the series, Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, Describe Cloud Concepts. The other learning paths in the series are Part 2, Describe Azure Architecture and Services, and Part 3, Describe Azure Management and Governance. So this exam or this learning path helps you prepare for the exam AZ900. So it's kind of explaining it. There's three modules, right? This happens to be the first one, Describe Cloud Concepts. And as you can see, there's prerequisite, which is have a basic familiarity with IT and IT concepts and stuff like that. This is great because it's saying like you don't need to have like, so for the AZ104, let's see, so actually I don't want to go to it right now, but I was gonna say if you wanted to go to the AZ, let's do it, AZ the administrator, and let's say this one, right? The prerequisites, as you can see, the Azure Fundamental, Describe Cloud Computing. So the three modules that we are doing now is the prerequisites for this one, which is the AZ104, which is the Azure Administrator path, right? So as you can see for this one, there isn't really, just you need to have an understanding of IT. It's not like you need to have a Network Plus, you need to have a CCNA, you need to have, like, you don't need all this stuff. Like, you just need to have a basic familiarity with IT terms and concepts. So if you worked help desk, if you work as a network, junior network, or I don't know, field technician, whatever you've done, if you have some basic familiarity with networking, PC hardware, IP address, like TCP IP, OSI model, stuff like that, if you have a basic understanding of it, then you can kind of just get into this, which is what I am doing. I think that that's great. So that being said, I'm going to start doing module 1. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so let's start the first module, Describe Cloud Computing. And let's just take a quick overview of this. So it says this module introduces you to cloud computing. It covers things such as cloud concepts, deployment modules, and understanding shared responsibility in the cloud. Okay, so as you can see, it says Introduction to Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. So let's go into it, right? So this module, learning objective. Upon completion of this module, you will be able to define cloud computing, describe the shared responsibility model, define cloud models, including public, private, and hybrid, and identify appropriate use cases for each cloud model. Describe the consumption-based model and compare cloud pricing models. So as you can see, kind of lists out what the objectives are, and added a new one that I didn't go over, cloud pricing models. So this model is part of these learning paths. So let's go into it. All right. So as you can see, it kind of lists the text from what I believe I read in the video, but cloud compute. Microsoft Azure is a cloud computing platform with an ever-expanding set of services to help you build solutions to meet your business goals. Azure services support everything from simple to complex. Azure has simple web services for hosting your business presence in the cloud. Azure also supports running fully virtualized computers, managing your custom software solutions. Azure provides a wealth of cloud-based services like remote storage, database hosting, and centralized account management. Azure also offers new capabilities like artificial intelligence, AI, and Internet of Things focused services. In this series, you'll cover cloud computing basics, be introduced to some of the core services provided by Microsoft Azure, and we'll learn more about the governance and compliance services that you can use. So, that's a pretty good explanation of what Azure would be for this. Saying what is the fundamentals, series of 3 learning paths that familiarize you with Azure and its many service features. So those paths that I showed you, that I read earlier, it's doing it here, and it kind of really melded it well. Because when I started learning this, it didn't have it this way. So it's very, they really made it look very approachable, right? It's very intuitive. So it's saying, why should I take Azure Fundamentals? If you're just beginning to work with the cloud, or if you already have cloud experience, Azure Fundamentals provides you with everything you need to get started. No matter your goals, Azure Fundamentals has something for you. You should take this course if you have general interest in Azure or in the cloud, want to earn official certification from Microsoft, which happens to be the AZ900. The Azure Fundamentals Learning Path series can help you prepare for exam AZ900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. This exam includes 3 knowledge domain areas. So if we go back to where that, so I'm going to go to my GitHub, and I wonder if that thing's saved in my favorites. So hold on, stars and Azure certification notes. Oh, actually, just perfect. So this isn't what I was trying to find, but this is also a great resource here. This is the other thing I think I mentioned in the video, but so I was gonna show you guys the Azure Mentor one, but this is the other one that I had originally. And this GitHub text document, basically in detail. So let's see, benefits of cloud basics. This person wrote all of these notes in detail, describing what it's the cloud in layman's terms, so you can understand it. If you want it, it's on my GitHub. I'll also add a link to it in my in the comments and in the description of the video. But it has all of like cloud deployment models, public cloud, private. You know, he has all this text here, and infrastructure as a service, all of this stuff. He has pictures that has. This is really great. Cloud compliance, CJIS, criminal justice, like he has all of this stuff. SLAs, or this is so it's like if you want to know everything, and he also has different exams. So management, Azure Cloud Shell, like this is for the AZ104. He has all of the exams, so I'd highly recommend you guys check that out. But I thought I starred that GitHub thing, so if I didn't, that's fine. I can find it again. So you know what? So let's go back here. So let's go. Oh, here it is. So Azure Mentor. Did I start this? Where do we start this at? Actually, don't remember where I start this at. Forward class. No. Huh. There's nowhere to start it. That's weird. That's the code and the hyperlinks. Huh. Interesting. So I'm gonna take a break here and I'll figure out how to start this. I'll be back. Alright, so let's just explain what I did to start this. So as you can see, it's starred. I didn't realize I just had to click that because we were inside the text file here. So you can't star this, right? The MD file. You have to actually go outside and go to the root and where you'll be able to start it. So if you guys want this, I'm gonna put a link to this, and I'm gonna put a link to my GitHub, which has this, right? So anyway, we're gonna go back to where we were. So introduction to Microsoft Azure, we read through this, and this says unlock achievement. I'll do it at the end when I go through 8 sections here. All right, so if you guys are doing this for the first time, it won't say this. So I already did it, so it says it. All right, so let's go next. Introduction to cloud computing. In this module, you'll be introduced to the general cloud concepts. You'll start with an introduction to the cloud in general stuff. So, and it's saying after completing this module, you'll be able to define cloud computing, shared responsibility, yada, 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 all the stuff for that, right? And so you go down, and it says, what is cloud computing? So cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet. and it has all this stuff. And there's a video. I won't play it because I don't know if that goes against YouTube policies and stuff from Microsoft. So, but you can watch the video in your own time, and it's pretty nice. Play a little bit. Let's see how it looks.
What is cloud computing? Just like when you shop for your own computer.
So that's pretty much how it looks. It looks like a nice video with graphics and talking and sound with visuals, you know. And you can download it too. Can you download it really? In English. So you can download the transcript and the video, which is very nice. This stuff is free, guys. Like, this is free stuff, okay? So let's go through that. Describe the shared responsibility model. So in this one is having you talk about what is shared responsibility, which I don't think I went over. So for this, let's go over it. So you may have heard of the shared responsibility model, but you may not understand what it means or how it impacts cloud computing. Start with a traditional corporate data center. The company is responsible for maintaining the physical space, ensuring security, and maintaining or replacing the servers if anything happens. The IT department is responsible for maintaining all the infrastructure and software needed to keep the data center up and running. They're also likely to be responsible for keeping all systems patched and on the correct version. So I did go over this. It's just explaining with the visual of the responsibility via the user, the owner of the company or whatever it is, and the cloud service provider, right? The customer, which was shared and everything. So continue with the shared responsibility model. These responsibilities get shared between the cloud provider and the customer. So like I was saying before, some of them you share responsibility depending on the tier or the type of service you have in your cloud service provider. The cloud service provider and the consumer. Physical security, power, cooling, and network connectivity are the responsibility of the cloud provider. Okay. The consumer isn't collocated. Oh, I haven't seen that word in a minute. Collocated with the data center, so it wouldn't make sense for the consumer to have any of those responsibilities, right? So if you're the consumer and you have service with Azure or a cloud somewhere, you don't work at their data center. You don't do anything with it. So it's not really your responsibility to have the fans, the cooling, the racks mounted, when like all of that stuff. It's not your responsibility. That's the service provider. So you're just concerned with, does it work, right? So in that case, that's their shared responsibility. Well, that's the case where there isn't a shared responsibility. It's only the responsibility of the service provider. So at the same time, the consumer is responsible for the data and information stored in the cloud. So you're responsible for your data and whatever is stored in the cloud. You wouldn't want the cloud provider to be able to read your information, right? So you don't want it to have access or prying to your data. The consumer is also responsible for access security, meaning you only give access to those who need it. So when you have your Azure tenant and you are the global administrator, you can give access to who can have access to certain things. Then for some things, the responsibility depends on the situation. If you're using a cloud SQL database, the cloud provider would be responsible for maintaining the actual database. However, you're still responsible for the data that gets ingested into the database. If you deployed a virtual machine and installed an SQL database on it, you would be responsible for database patches and updates, as well as maintaining the data and information stored in the database. So if you had database stuff, if you're using some cloud SQL database, the cloud provider would be responsible for maintaining the actual database. However, you're responsible for what is in the database, the data, right? So, and it's saying if you deployed a virtual machine, so if you created a VM of some sort and installed a SQL database on it, you would be responsible for the patches because you created a VM. So now you've used the cloud to create your own virtual machine that has a database. You're responsible for the database and the VM. which would include the patches and all that stuff. So we'll go on with an on-premises data center. You're responsible for everything. With cloud computing, those responsibilities shift. The shared responsibility model is heavily tied into the cloud service types. Covered later in the path. So it goes into IaaS, which I've covered already. So yeah, this is very thorough and has photos and pictures of everything, right? So we'll continue on and describes the cloud models, the public cloud, private, hybrid, and it also has like this here, this table. The following table highlights a few key comparative aspects between the cloud models. Public cloud, so no capital expenditures to scale up, because the public cloud, you're only caring for the finished product as a service. So if you're Netflix, you're not paying for the capital expenditure of servers. If you're a Netflix consumer, you're not doing that, right? Applications can be quickly provisioned and deprovisioned. Organizations pay for only what they use. Organizations don't have complete control over resources and security. You don't have control over Netflix and all their stuff, right? You only care about the media that you get from it, because that's what you're paying for. As long as it's up and running, you don't like when it's lagging and stuff. Maybe your internet service provider, but if their servers were down, they would have multiple servers that would take over. So you don't have to worry about that because Netflix does. So that's how the public cloud will work. If it's a private, it's kind of a little bit more of the opposite, more of the responsibilities on your side. So the hybrid is a combination. We went over this. Azure. So there's some other stuff here. Azure Arc. Azure Arc is a set of technologies that helps manage your cloud environment. Azure Arc can help manage your cloud environment, whether it's a public cloud solely on Azure, a private cloud in your data center, a hybrid configuration, or even a multi-cloud environment running on multiple cloud providers at once. So that, and then Azure VM's solution. What if you're already established with VMware in a private cloud environment but want to migrate to a public or hybrid cloud? Azure VMware solution lets you run your VMware workloads in Azure with seamless integration and scalability. So this is another section here that goes over the consumption-based model. I went over that, like OpEx, CapEx, no upfront costs. For consumption-based, you pay for what you use. No need to purchase and manage costly infrastructure, stuff like that. Cloud computing. Compare cloud pricing models. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet by using a pay-as-you-go pricing model. Typically pay only for the cloud services you use, which helps you plan and manage your operating costs, run your infrastructure more efficiently, scale as your business needs change. So it's nice. To put it another way, cloud computing is a way to rent compute power and storage from someone else's data center. That's pretty much it, right? And you can pay for the efficiency of like the hardware. If you want stronger hardware, that's going to cost more than cheaper hardware, right? The cloud. So we'll go to next. There's a knowledge check. So what is cloud computing? Delivery of computing services over the internet, delivery of storage of services, delivery of websites. So we know it's computing services over the internet. Which cloud model uses some data centers focused on providing cloud services to anyone that wants them, and some data centers that are focused on a single customer? So it's asking which cloud model uses some data centers focused on providing cloud services to anyone that wants them, and some that, so it's saying, so actually multi-cloud. This is a new one here. Anyone that, so it'd be a hybrid, because it's saying the data centers for anyone that wants them in the public, and then some data centers that are focused on a single person. So that's a private hybrid situation. According to the shared responsibility model, which cloud service type places the most responsibility on the customer infrastructure? So all right, and then As you can see, this was kind of interesting because I've never seen multi-cloud used as an answer. So I like that they added that. I actually had to think about that for a second. So we'll go to next. Summary. As we finish this particular module. In this module, you learned about great general cloud concepts. You started with things like just understanding what cloud computing is. You also learned about the shared responsibility model and how you and your cloud provider share the responsibility of keeping your information in the cloud secure. You briefly covered the differences between the cloud models, public, private, hybrid, and multi-cloud. Then you wrapped up with a unit on how the cloud shifts IT spend from a capital expense to operational. This is interesting because it's saying public, private, hybrid, and multi-cloud. They didn't add that before. So this is why this is important, because they updated this a little bit, right? They added another one, multi-cloud. That has not been in there. It's always been public, hybrid, and private. So I'm glad I'm gonna, you know what? I think for my content moving forward, I'm gonna incorporate this in my videos now. I'm not gonna kind of just do these sit down when I'm talking, which is cool, but I'll do that for more of my I forgot what that's called, the YouTube, the verticals content, the vertical form factor ones, the shorts. I'll do that for more of my shorts and stuff, little quick videos, but for these, a little more thorough ones, I like that this is nice and I want to use this. So yeah, we're gonna use this moving forward. So as you can see, we're done. Learning objectives. You should now be able to define cloud computing, describe the shared responsibility model, which is what we went over, basically about, does this consumer have this responsibility, the cloud provider, and which one is shared. Define cloud models, including public, private, and hybrid. Identify appropriate use cases for each cloud model, where you'd want to use them appropriately. For the public, private, and hybrid. Describe the consumption base and the cloud pricing. So that's pretty much what we learned in this module. Additional resources. The following resources provide more information on topics in this module or related to this module. And it's saying shared responsibility model. The shared responsibility model is the sharing of responsibilities for the cloud between you and your cloud provider. Introductory to Azure VMware Solution. VMware Solution is a Microsoft Learn course that dives deeper into Azure VMware Solution. Oh, that's cool. You know what? I'm going to do a video on that at some point. Introduction to Hybrid Cloud Services is a Microsoft Learn course that explains hybrid cloud in greater detail. See? So this is great. I'm definitely going to be doing this now in my videos. This is so good. And I like that I can share the screen. You guys see what I see, and we can do it together. So unlock achievement, and as you can see, we've earned 2. What should I do next? So I showed you guys, I shared it already. So I believe architecture. So the next learning path should be this. So actually, we're going to save this. I'm going to add it to that. And Azure Fundamental Cloud Concepts. So we did part 1. So the next one is the architecture and services. So in this one, I haven't done it. So what we're going to do next time is we're going to do it together. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is going to be my new way of doing this kind of content now. This is really great stuff here. It's up to date, so this is them doing it. I saw they added that multi-cloud thing before, because I haven't seen that in the app I use. So definitely gonna incorporate this now into my content. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something, and I hope you guys definitely go out and create that Microsoft account and start doing this stuff while it's free. And I'm gonna add the GitHub. So I'm gonna put this in my description. And maybe I'll add these in the comments too. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get these certs down, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
For now, I have faith in love, and I'll owe it all to you. I took you up, had some such a lonely time. We danced all night till the sun would shine.